discipline and consistency. Because motivation and consistency, they're both fleeting. But the discipline is what's going to keep you motivated and keep you consistent. And that is how you become at the top of your game.
Welcome to the Leader's Mindset, where we bring you conversations with leaders who are making an impact in business and our communities. Today, I'm here with Aaron McNair. He's a certified spiritual coach and life coach. Thanks for being here today, Aaron.
It's an absolute pleasure, Jason. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So I want to start out with, you've been known to say that you don't do bad days.
That is very true. And let me add something to your announcement of my credentials. So I am a mindset and spirituality coach and motivational speaker.
Excellent.
And yes, I do not do bad days in my life.
So tell us what that means and how it helps you be successful.
Well, I was given a motivational speech on the 8th of October to a group of 70 teachers. And one of the things that I said in that speech was, I don't have bad days. And in my meeting with the executive, crafting what it is exactly that she wanted me to talk about with these teachers, we had that conversation, and she was saying she doesn't have bad days either. So for myself, it starts here. I'm not interested in having a bad day. That is how it starts. So I'm already there in my mind. And then every single day of my life, with my morning regimen that I have, I'm starting every single day off on such a powerful, positive, encouraging, and highly elevated note. And, this is life. And life happens, right? The question is, what do you do with what happens to you during the course of your days? And I don't allow anything to affect me negatively, to bring my energy and my vibration down. And that's why I don't have bad days.
So it sounds like if we don't want to have bad days either, it starts, one, with making a choice that we're not going to have a bad day.
Absolutely.
And a real keystone to this is building that foundation of a morning routine.
Absolutely. And mindset. And, you're talking about morning routine. And the reason I feel that that is so important, because that is the beginning of your day. So that's the energy that you are starting your day with. That's the energy that you are showing up for yourself at the very beginning of your day. And it speaks volumes. It's everything, man. Seriously.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit before. Your morning routine, you spend this isn't like a 5-minute thing. This is you spend at least an hour and a half on your morning routine every day. Do I have that right?
You have part of it right, because since I spoke to you the first time, and I was looking forward to us having this conversation. Since I spoke to you first time, I've added 3 new things to my morning regimen. And it takes me 2 hours now.
Well, and I think that's great, because I think, as I said, I think it's a foundation. I have a morning routine as well, and no matter what time I have to get up in the morning to get that morning routine done, I do that.
Yes.
Because I don't feel good about myself going into the day if I haven't gotten those things done, and some of that is not. It's not just getting myself ready to face the day, but it's having coffee, reading the newspaper, doing the things I like to do in the morning, so that they're not on my mind of, when do I get to do this later today? So that's me. I'd love for you to tell us about what your morning routine is like, what you do, why you do it, how long each of the individual components takes. And I'd love to hear about the 3 things you've added since we last talked.
Okay, so I will share the morning regimen first, and then at the very end, I will tell you what I've added. So I wake up in the morning, I kiss my wife, and then I walk around my house. That is a gratitude walk of thanks for what I have. And I'm so grateful for all of that. And after that, then I pray. And I'm usually on my back doing this on a yoga mat. So I pray. When I'm done praying, I put on meditation music. So I meditate. And then after the meditation music, I put on Mozart. And the reason that I switched to that is because the vibration and the frequency of Mozart's music is so highly elevated. And then I begin exercising. And that's a 3-minute plank, 30 push ups, 50 crunches. And I do 3 rounds of that nonstop. And then after that, I have in my notebook that I write, I love you, God, in 40 to 50 times. And I do that because my relationship with God is so important to me. And I want God to know that. So that's just that pure quality time between me and God. And then I have breakfast and then I get ready to go to the gym after that. Now, the 3 things that I've added since then has been 20 pull ups, 16 reps of the ab roller. And then when I'm having breakfast, I'm spending time looking at something and watching something. I'm usually on YouTube watching something that I'm learning from to give myself more knowledge. And this has been going on for maybe 6 to 7 weeks. No, about 8, close to 8 weeks right now. And I have to honestly tell you that that moment that I take where I'm learning and gaining more knowledge has been utterly fascinating. It's also been so much fun because I'm enjoying it so much. And the statement that knowledge is power is an absolute understatement. I'm telling you, Jason.
Yeah, and so I love everything you described for us. I think that's perfect because I'm not here. I'm not here to tell people you need to spend 2 hours on your morning routine, or you need to meditate, or you need to listen to Mozart, or you need to do
Mhm.
pull-ups and planks and that kind of thing. What I want people to take away from what you just said is everything in your morning routine is deliberate. Everything is a choice you have made, and you are also evolving this routine over time. You are adding things. You might possibly be taking things away if they're no longer serving you. So I want everyone who's watching or listening to understand you don't need to do Aaron's routine. What you need to do is find your own morning routine
Yes.
and be deliberate about what you're doing and be deliberate about the state you want your mind and body to be in when you're done.
Absolutely. And everyone that's watching and listening, you need to craft a morning regimen that works for you. And then understand this. Every single time that you wake up in the morning and you complete your morning regimen, you're showing up for you and your life, and you're elevating your life. And the whole reason that I even began this years ago, because it's been about 12 to 13 years now, is because I no longer wanted to wake up in the morning feeling unmotivated or sluggish. That is exactly why I started doing exercises the moment that I woke up in the morning. That's why I started.
Is that what you started with when you first started your morning routine? Did you start with the exercises?
No, it was still prayer and meditation first. Yes, because for myself, because of my relationship with God, that being the most important thing in my life, that comes first, period.
That's great. So for everyone watching or listening, what's the first step they should take in developing their morning routine?
Well, I'll share this with you because I have a client and he's my youngest client. He's 15. And we were talking and discussing crafting his morning regimen. And so I asked him about what he believed in. Is he religious? Does he believe in God? And he does not particularly. And so I said, well, do you believe in a higher power? And he said, yes. I said, so let's do this. You wake up in the morning, give thanks to the higher power for blessing you to see another day of your life. And then, wow, this young man is so incredible. So I do mindset, spirituality coaching with him and fitness coaching with him. I do both. And this is his morning routine. So he wakes up and he gives thanks for his day. He does a 3-minute plank, 25 push ups, 15 dips, and 30 toe touch. And he does 3 rounds of that. And then he spends some time researching and learning more about acting so that he can perfect his craft. He's an actor. And then he takes a shower and gets ready for his day. That's his morning routine. And I'm so proud of it. And I told him this. I said, listen, I said, by the time you're 20, you are going to be so successful because the path that you're on is so incredible for your life, particularly at this stage of your life.
Yeah, getting that day started off right is so important to
It
having a good day.
is.
I find it myself.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you're here to tell people about it. And it's also important for being prepared for opportunities when they come to our door. I know that's
Oh,
something that's really important to you, is to
gosh.
be prepared for opportunities. So what, besides our morning routine, that's where it all starts. What else should we all be doing to prepare ourselves for opportunities that come along?
So, whatever it is that you do in your life, and I'm speaking professionally, you should constantly be learning because the more you learn, the more knowledgeable you are, the more of a master you become at your craft, whatever that may be. And the more knowledgeable you are, the more valuable you become. And that is what you should be doing consistently. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, on a daily basis, because you're making yourself better and you're elevating your knowledge, which elevates your value, which elevates your income. And that's what I'm talking about.
That's great. So we've got our morning
Sir.
routine, we've got our lifelong learning, our constant learning. What else?
Mm.
What else should we be thinking about?
Well, the power of positive thinking, my friend. And listen, all of this goes back to mindset because everything stems from the mind. And when you master your mindset, you are able to master your life. You're able to consistently think and feel positive. You're able to consistently be optimistic. And you want all of those things for your life on the daily basis. That's what keeps your energy, your vibration, and your frequency elevated instead of you being in this low place and thinking and feeling negative. Because when you feel like that, it drops everything about you. It drops your mood, it drops your energy, and it's not a good place to be or feel.
Now, you come from a boxing background. So, what has boxing taught you about life, about success, and especially about mindset?
Boxing has taught me a great deal about discipline. Let me tell you something, Jason. If you do not have your endurance together and it's time to get in that ring and spar, there's going to be a problem because boxers, when you get tired, it doesn't matter how good you are. When you get tired, your endurance drops, and the other person who's been doing the work, who is on their A game for this moment, they're going to take advantage of you and they're going to beat you. Discipline, discipline, and consistency. Because motivation and consistency, they're both fleeting. But the discipline is what's going to keep you motivated and keep you consistent. And that is how you become at the top of your game.
You talked a little bit about positive thinking, and you talked a little bit about some of the mental barriers that prevent us from truly being successful.
Yes.
What are some of those mental barriers that someone might be experiencing that are really keeping them from being successful that they may not be aware of?
Well, oftentimes, and I think, I was watching a video of a professor. She's a neuroscientist professor. And she said that this was kind of mind blowing for me because I didn't think it was that high. She said 95% of people think negative. 95. That is such a high percentage. And when you're allowing those thoughts to linger in your mind, You're in your own way, and you're blocking your success. You're blocking your possibilities. You're blocking your opportunities. And the positive thinking and being optimistic opens all of that up. And so going back to being prepared, doing the work, consistently doing the work, becoming more knowledgeable, becoming more powerful of a human being for yourself, when those opportunities and those possibilities, when they come into your life, you're prepared. But if you're being negative and you're allowing negative thoughts and negative energies and vibrations to consistently be in your life, you're blocking those things. So you're literally blocking the blessings that's meant for your life. They can't just comfortably flow into your life because you're blocking them. And I was in a session with the client last night and I was telling her, and I told her this last week when I was with her. I said, you have to get out of your way because you're blocking everything for yourself.
One of the things that I understand gets people blocking themselves. One of the things
Yes.
that keeps people thinking negatively is they have a lot of fear. How do you help people get
Man.
past that fear to really seize opportunities and achieve their potential?
Well, fear, I was talking about this in a podcast interview. Fear is a dream killer. Jason, it just kills everything. Because for one, and this is like, oh my God, this is one of the most important things in one's life. Your confidence. And fear will knock that down. It will literally take that from you. So one of the things that I really begin working with people with fear is helping them understand and see that they are worthy of the absolute best in life. And when you have fear, you don't feel that. You don't feel that you're worthy. And a part of you not feeling worthy is your confidence has been taken away from you, has been interfered with. So everything happens by making one step, another step, another step. So we begin with that one step of having you to feel better about yourself, to have more self love, have more self worth, to elevate your confidence. And before you know it, as we're working, you have conquered the fear in your life and it no longer exists. And now you are completely open up to the opportunities. And get this, Jason, the opportunities that are meant for your life. And I was in a session with a client, this was a couple of weeks ago, a new client. And he was telling me that his cousin recently passed away and that he had thoughts of not being here anymore. And so he said to his cousin, give me a sign. And the two of us met. And this is one of the things I said to him. I said, let me make something crystal clear to you. You are here and you have a purpose in this life that no other human on this planet can fulfill. Why is that? Because you're the only you. There's no one else like you on this entire planet. And your purpose is specifically designed for you. And your purpose is absolutely special and needs to be fulfilled.
That's great. A lot of what you're talking about is being really focused on the present moment. And that's really important for our own well-being and our own success. How do you balance being in the present moment with having a plan for success, having a strategy going forward?
Well, it's absolutely important for us to think about our future. There's no question about that. But the most important moment in our lives is the present because, and this is so important to know and realize, this, okay, so right now, this incredible energy exchange that I'm having with you, Jason, this is our present. This is the most important time in our lives. And everything else forward is possibilities because it doesn't exist. Do you follow me? So it's extremely important to focus on your present and to be grateful for your present, whatever that may look like. And it's different for everybody, right? Because we're all individuals. But there has to be a plan. There has to be a visual, a vision for your future. And every time that you show up in the mornings and you complete a morning regimen for yourself, and you're not skipping, every single time you're showing up for you and you're showing up for your future. And then all of these things, when you combine all of these things together, your morning regimen, your positive thinking, being optimistic, uh, looking forward to and excited about the opportunities that are coming into your life, you are moving forward to the goals and the dreams that you have for your life. And they're far more promising because you're consistently showing up for your life. And that is exactly how you get there, man. That's how you get there.
So it sounds like we should be thinking about the future. We should have a goal in mind, a vision of where we want to head,
Indeed.
the kind of person we want to be.
Yes.
But also staying in the present is what helps us achieve that.
Yes, and there needs to be a lot of focus on personal growth because this is so important. The reason I say that is because, okay, so right now, here we are, right? Life does what? Life moves forward. Life is never sitting still. So if you're not growing, you're literally going backwards. And to clarify that, I mean, today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. Moving forward. If you're not moving forward with, you're sitting still, and your sitting still is taking you back. So personal growth is extremely important, and that's for all of us. And by you working on your personal growth consistently, meaning showing up for yourself in your life, you're consistently elevating the person that you are. You're not staying the same.
Excellent. I love that. What
Thank
is
you.
one piece of advice you have for all of us to help us stay in the present?
Gratitude, my friend. Gratitude, like, oh my God, that energy is one of the most important energy and aspects of our lives for us to have. And gratitude helps you to stay in the present because you appreciate where you are in your life. And then you also appreciate where you're going because you don't have the sense of, I'm not going to achieve more for my life. And the more confidence and gratitude that you have, the more you're able to appreciate the present moment and the more you're able to look forward to with confidence what you're going to achieve for your life in the future.
I love it. I love it. I want to take a little bit of a break from the serious questions. I want to play a game. Are you up for a game?
But of course I am.
All right. The name of this game is Rapid Response. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I want you to respond with the first thing that comes to mind. Now, that doesn't mean you need to give a one-word answer. You can elaborate as much or as little as you'd like to. And we really just want to get a sense of getting to know Aaron a little better than maybe some of the other questions would let us do, okay?
You got it.
All right. Ready?
Of course.
All right. Aaron McNair, rapid response round. Your time begins now. A podcast recommendation.
I don't know the name of her podcast, but Mel Robbins. I absolutely love her.
Yeah, she's really great. The name of her podcast is escaping me right now as well, but she's great, and her latest book is really great.
Awesome.
What is a practice you'd like to see more people embrace?
Exercising daily. And I will add to that and say this, and I know most people have no clue about this, and I learned this from a neuroscience professor. Exercise is the fastest way to transform your brain, and it will protect your brain against Alzheimer's, depression, and dementia.
I agree 100%, and I think there's a lot of data and studies out there now that support that. So,
yes, sir.
Someone we should all be paying attention to.
Myron Golden. He is a wealth coach, and he helped people to understand, one, that having wealth is such an incredible, beautiful thing. There's zero negative about being wealthy, and he helps people to achieve wealth in their life. And I know a lot of people don't particularly care for rich people, but let me say this about wealthy people. They employ so many people, and they have most of the wealth in the world. So how could you not or be upset with them? And I think a lot of people are not particularly interested in attaining wealth, but the freedom that it gives you and the lifestyle that it affords you to live is incredibly beautiful. That's my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks who would like to have that wealth, have that freedom, I think, but they feel guilty about that. They feel like it's not for them. It's somehow not the right thing to do in life. So it's great that there's someone out there who's helping people with that.
Absolutely.
What is either your get pumped up song or your walk on music?
When I'm working, this is interesting. So my morning regimen, when I'm exercising, I'm listening to Mozart, which does not in any way pump me up, right? When I'm exercising in the gym, I'm listening to Christian rap. No particular song, but it's Christian rap that I listen to when I'm in the gym working out.
Sounds great. The biggest influence in your life?
I would have to say, and this takes me back to my teens, Columbus Burrell, who is no longer with us. He was one of my closest friends at that time, and wow, what an incredibly beautiful, powerful, positive, one of the most loving human beings I've met in my entire life. And the fact that I was able to have such a close relationship with him, man, I'm so blessed.
That's wonderful. What is a book everyone should read?
Rewire Your Brain by Joe Dispenza. That book, it is literally helping you to rewire your brain. So, and what does that tell us? That tells us that you don't have to be stuck being the person that you are. You can absolutely change all of that. That is what that book is telling you. And it's true. It's 1,000,000,000% true.
Everybody go check it out. We're coming up on the winter months here. What is your favorite winter recreational activity?
I'm an interesting individual. So I love running outside, and it doesn't matter what the weather is. So in the wintertime, even if it's raining, I bundle up and I get out there on the road and get it done. And it is such an incredible, highly elevating, energy-filling mood. I love it immensely.
Does that come from your boxing days? That you got to get out and get that road work done before you do the rest of your workout kind of thing?
I will say yes to that. And I'll tell you something very interesting, Jason. Before I started boxing, I was not running at all. And there was an issue with my breathing because occasionally, I would have to take deep breaths. So I never thought I would be a runner. And when I started boxing, completely changed all of that.
Yeah, I mean, boxing is such an incredible sport and such an incredible athleticism, and as you mentioned before, the endurance is one of the most important parts of it, right? And
Absolutely.
running is one of the best ways to build endurance in your body. So,
One of the best ways is definitely challenging, but it's also so fun. When you conquer that, man, it's like there's nothing I can't do because it is quite the challenge.
and the best part about running is you can always push yourself another 10 yards every day.
Every single day. Absolutely, my friend.
There's no clock on it.
There
Your
is.
dream vacation spot.
Huh. I would say that would be somewhere in Europe, maybe Spain. My God, Spain is so beautiful. So beautiful. Yes, I'm going to go with that.
All right, we'll mark you down for Spain. A trend you're excited about.
Huh. That one's a tough one for me because I don't follow trends. And I don't really have a response to that because I don't follow trends.
Well, then what is something you're excited about?
I'm excited about this very moment. I'm super excited about I'm currently working on 2 books. So I'm excited about that. But you know what I'm really excited about? And it's so fascinating and enjoyable to me. When I'm spending time learning something because I clearly got and understand how powerful knowledge truly is. And it's fascinating and fun. And I'm learning more, which means that I can give more. And that's almost, it's everything for me.
Yeah, I think in the internet age, we take knowledge and information for granted a little bit. But what's really exciting and fun about having knowledge, acquiring new knowledge, is we can help someone else make connections with that knowledge. Instead of just telling them to go look something up on the internet, we can actually help them make a connection to their brain that will help them.
And that's exactly why it's so powerful. And the brain, powerful.
All right, last one. Favorite sports team or player?
Well, I'm going to go with Novak Djokovic. And I say that because of his mature age and because he is absolutely dominating, incredible on the court. That's why I choose him.
Yeah, and you are not the first person to play this game to choose him. We've heard that, I want to say we've probably heard that 3 or 4 times in the last year since we've been asking that question. And it's yeah, he dominates. That's his whole thing. He that's his strategy, that's his method, that from top to bottom, it's about domination.
Absolutely. Now I'll tell you something that I took from him in an interview once. He was saying that in the evenings when he's watching TV with his family, that he's taking that time and he's stretching for an hour. And I know how important stretching is. And so when I heard that from him, I started stretching in the evenings when my wife is fixing dinner. I'm just stretching. And stretching is so important for us to stay limber, to keep ourselves from being injured.
Yeah, it's, you have this big picture goal you want to achieve. Stretching is an important part of it. And so at some point you say, where am I going to fit this into my day? I'm not going to skip it. So I got to fit it in somewhere. And when you're hanging out with the family, it's a great time to stretch. And that's the dedication and the staying in the present moment that leads to dominance.
So very true.
Excellent. Well, thanks for playing our game.
Absolutely.
It's nice to get to know you a little bit in the way some of the other questions might not help us out with. So we just talked about how important it is to fit those things in, to not skip them every day. You must have incredible time management skills to do all the things you do. We've only talked about a portion of your day, and it's already busier than most people's entire weeks. What are some of the tips you have for managing our time so we can make the most of it?
Well, I will tell you this, and this came from my wife. So in my phone daily, there's probably about 20 alarms. And that is to remind me of every single thing that I'm supposed to do in my day so that I don't forget or skip anything. And this is on the regular basis. And I'm talking about on the weekends as well. And this is professionally, personally. There's always an alarm going off in my phone somewhere. My wife tells me this. My wife says, I always know when you're home because there's an alarm going off. So you have these goals, right? Even the things that you need to do in your day, regardless of what they may be, you set reminders so that you don't forget to do them. And I absolutely assure you that you're going to be so grateful that you accomplished it, whatever it is, because when you accomplish things in your life, it makes you feel better. Regardless of what, it doesn't even matter to what degree it is that you're accomplishing. It feels great because every time you accomplish something for yourself, you're showing up for you and you're bettering your life. You're moving your life forward and upward, and you're not just sitting still.
I love that. I use the same method. It's usually, for me, it's usually like calendar reminders, but
Yeah.
everything that's important to me is on my calendar, whether it's blocked out
So,
time or a to-do on the calendar. And I do that because there are things that are important to me and I don't want to
mhm,
forget them. I want something to
exactly.
remind me of them. And because I'll get, I'll be doing a podcast episode like this, and I might get distracted and be doing lots of good stuff and forget. So that reminder
Exactly.
on my phone, it's right there. It tells me this is something you told yourself, you made a commitment to yourself that was important for you to do today. And it takes a lot of focus and discipline, but the tool
It
can help.
does. Absolutely.
You've
Absolutely.
mentioned how important focus and self-discipline are to you, and I want to point out to our audience that that's not just something you say to people you help. It's something you live. Do I have this right? You haven't missed a day of exercise in 5 years.
It's going to be 6 years at the end of the year.
6 years at the end of this year, you
Yeah.
haven't missed a day of exercise. We talked about the tools you use, the alarms, the calendars, that kind of stuff. How did you develop such strong focus and discipline?
I think this began, so this was 2019. I set the goal to exercise every day. And the way that came about was I didn't want to miss any days because I didn't want any days of me feeling like I was being lazy. And so I set the goal. And in October, so every single day, and I'm charting this, I'm writing down what I'm doing every single day. So October, one day in October, it was late October. I went, the next day came, and I went to write down what I did. And when I was writing down what I did, I saw that I didn't write anything down for the day before. So I didn't even realize I missed the day. And it was extremely disappointing. I mean, late October, it's almost over. But at that point, what can I do about it? Nothing. And I have to be honest with myself. So I put it back on the list, 2020, and I accomplished it. And when I did, Jason, it felt like God came down and gave me trophies and medals. It felt that incredible. And I said to myself, anything that makes you feel like that, it has to consistently be in your life. So I decided for the rest of my life, I'm going to exercise every single day. And that's how we got here.
Yeah, that feeling of accomplishment is really powerful in the human psyche.
Yes.
Do you remember the first time you ever felt that?
Yes, I do. And that's when I was competing in sports. I was 10. That was the first time I felt that. Yes.
What sport were you competing in?
At that time, it was football, and I played football, basketball, boxing, baseball, wrestling, and tennis. I've competed in all of those sports. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all got that moment where we realized we accomplished something on our own. We might have had help some people, but we felt that sense of accomplishment, and it's a little bit like a drug. Once you
Oh,
feel,
it absolutely is. It's definitely like a drug. I would even go to say that it is a drug. Such a high.
yeah, absolutely. So you've come a long way from where you started, 10 years old, playing football. What are some of the challenges you face now that are different from the challenges you faced in your early days, and how are you overcoming them?
Oh, man. Well, sometimes it feels like there's not enough hours in the day.
And there are not, but
Exactly.
we're
So,
stuck with that.
oh man, exactly. So for me, I think, okay, there's something that has to be done, something that I'm supposed to accomplish. And in my mind, my mindset, the way that I think is it has to be done. You have to get it done. And if there is something important, and it's like this for me, it's really that simple. Get it done. There's no there's no back and forth about it. I have to get it done. And sometimes that may interfere with me doing something else, but that something else has to go, like something that was pleasurable that I was planning to do. Like I've had to cancel tennis a few times with friends because this project, something that I'm working on, has to be done today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is not the same as today. So that definitely comes up sometimes on a regular basis because my schedule is so busy with everything I'm doing and all the things that I'm working on to achieve and to accomplish for my life. And as you were saying, Jason, when you accomplish something for your life, and it doesn't matter to what degree, it's such an incredible feeling and it elevates you. And it also lets you know that you can achieve more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot about. I've noticed this in recent years that I think a lot about when I've got something I've got to do. Right? You talked about you canceled a tennis date, which is perfectly fine, right?
Of course.
And the right thing to do. But a lot of times I will be thinking about. I've got all these things I want to get done. They've all got to be done in the next few days, and I'm not doing anything right now. What can I do right now to make do I want today to be easier,
Exactly.
or do I want tomorrow to be easier, and do something today so I don't have to do it tomorrow?
Right.
Which day do I want to be easier, today or tomorrow? And most of the time I choose I want tomorrow to be easier. Sometimes, like when you're really exhausted, sometimes I go, you know what? I'm going to choose today.
Absolutely. I experienced that. This was on Monday. I was very, very tired because it had been a busy weekend for me. And I didn't get my normal workout done in the morning. So I said I'm gonna get it. I have two choices. I can either get it in this time frame or I can do it later. And later, I'm going to be more tired than I am now. So I went to the gym, I did my workout, and surprisingly so, mind you, I was tired, right? Surprisingly, I had such an incredible workout and I was able to lift the heavy weights and have such an awesome workout in every set that I did. Because once I got there and got started, I was in the zone. So the tired went away. It totally disappeared.
I find that myself. If I'm feeling tired and don't want to work out, on the days that I force myself to go do it, I actually feel more charged up when I come back than before I left. So
Yes. And completely agree with you because after that workout, I came back and I got so much accomplished and felt even better, right?
absolutely.
Yes,
So
sir.
you have a number of things going on. You're working with individuals. You're working on books. You're working on projects. What's coming up for you in the next few months?
Well, actually, I signed up for a speakers challenge, and this is happening right now. So I'm taking the class for it, and the challenge is on November 15th. And this is with Richmond Den, Kaylee Chu, and what is that other guy's name? Why am I blanking on this guy's name? I got the book right here. Russell Bronson. It is with the three of them. And first place is 10,000, and you'll also get featured in their magazine, in their speakers magazine, their top speakers magazine. Second place is fourth, and third place is $2,000. I mean, no, second place is 4,000, third place is $2,000. And the way that I'm viewing this is not a competition at all. This is a great opportunity for me, and I'm going in there with that attitude and I'm going to win regardless when I walk away from this thing. And I'm learning more. So it's absolutely an awesome experience. So that's happening. I'm also launching my coaching program in about 3 weeks. I'm launching that online. And then there are the 2 books that I'm currently working on.
That all sounds fantastic. I think this episode will probably go up after your program launches and your speech. So I'd love it if you would send us, if we're able to see your competition speech online somewhere, if you'd send us the link to that, and then also send us the
Absolutely.
link to your new coaching program once it's ready, and we'll put it in the show notes.
Fantastic. I most certainly will. And thank you. I appreciate that.
That's great. All right, as we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with?
Yes, I want, and this is why I began being a coach, a mindset and spirituality coach. I want the absolute best for people. I want them to live their best lives, and I want them to be utterly and blissfully happy. And I want them to know that I love every single one of you, and I'm rooting for you. Those are my last words.
All right. That's great. I think that's a perfect place to leave it. I think everyone feels that from you as they're watching or listening to this interview. This has
Thank
been
you.
such an amazing conversation. I want to thank you for joining us today, Aaron. Where can everyone find you so they can also thank you for joining us?
They can find me at Aaron McNair 1 on YouTube and all of the other social medias, Aaron McNair 100.
I want to thank you all for watching and listening. If you found this conversation valuable, go ahead and share it, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review if you're on a podcast platform. Those reviews really help us get the word out and get this podcast, these great conversations that we're having, out to more people who can use them. So we've got lots more amazing leaders coming your way. Go out there, do great things today. Onward and upward.